Top down, and we're going to be again assessing for sacral mechanics. And that is on page, should be on page 338. Page 338. So, this palpation, you're going to stay on the PSIS. So you're going to contact them there. You're going to have your hands. I usually have my patients typically place your hands behind your neck, elbows in front, curl down segmentally, try to bring your elbows to your knees. All the way forward, all the way forward. In a case of a normal response is that my thumbs would stay symmetric. In a case of an abnormal response, suggesting that there's sacroiliac dysfunction, the PSIS will go first and higher, first and furthest than the opposing side. So if I have any asymmetry, the side with the dysfunction is going to go first and furthest. It's going to follow the rest of the spine. In Meredith's case, there was no asymmetry, so that's why you didn't see my thumbs move so much. If there were asymmetry, you'd see either the right go up first and furthest or the left go up first and furthest, depending on which side was dysfunctional. And it's always going to be on the side that is dysfunctional where you're going to see that first and furthest migration. Okay. Now, the one thing that you can also do in the fully flexed position, go ahead, go back into fully flexed, is you follow the PSISs up, and if they were symmetrical, that's fine. What you also can assess now in this position is the position of the ILAs. Now, in a position of with the ILAs, you're looking for symmetry. Okay? You're looking for symmetry in the coronal plane, so you want to come up and look down, as I was telling you to do with your FRSs and ERSs. And the reason for that is that in the position of lumbar flexion, what's happening at the sacral basis? Counternutation or extension. And if the sacral bases are coming backward towards you in flexion, lumbar flexion, what direction are the ILAs going? Anterior. And they should be going anteriorly symmetrically, correct, if there's no dysfunction? But what ends up happening if we got something like one going anterior while the other one is staying posterior? We have asymmetry, and that clues us in that there might be dysfunction. And the only dysfunction that it could really be is related to a forward sacral torsion, because with lumbar flexion, the forward sacral torsions are going to be the ones that get worse. See how you start to put the pieces of the puzzle together? Correct. Reason being is the only thing that can hold the sacrum back from going back symmetrically while the lumbar flexes is something that's stuck which way in the sacrum? Forward. Because we said that sacral torsions correct in one direction and get worse in the other. So let's say we haven't put all the pieces of the puzzle back to put the piece of the puzzle together again, because we still have to do a couple more assessments. But the idea is that if you see asymmetry during any of these motions, you have to start thinking that there's a dysfunction. The only sacral dysfunction that it could really be in this case is something that's stuck flexed. Okay? And most likely it's going to be a forward sacral torsion. And the reason why that is because it got asymmetrical in the flexed position at least. And if the lumbar spine flexes, sacral spine extends or counter-nutates, and the only thing that could limit the counter-nutation, normal mechanics, is something that's forward. And there's your forward sacral torsion.
So in flexion, can you just see how you find the ILA effort?
The ILAs will be palpable in any position, flexion, extension, or neutral. What you do to find the ILAs find the sacral hiatus here, and then move laterally. The ILAs are essentially the transverse processes of S5. And it stands for inferior lateral angle. All right. Then you're going to have your patient prone.